Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So another day of spoilers is wrapping up, and we'll be getting some absolutely fantastic ones today. So if you might be in the market for a 2-mana green enchantment that can cast Eldrazi for free, go ahead and check out my most recent episode on In Search of Greatness. But if Eldrazi isn't your cup of tea, maybe this one drop from this episode is. But before we get into the actual card, a quick spoiler warning. I've said this quite a few times in these episodes, but I'm gonna say it again, so if you're not looking for spoilers, please stop watching now. Okay, pause for a few seconds, wait for people to leave that don't want to see the spoiler. Okay, I think that's enough time. Yeah, probably enough time. Okay, let's jump into it. And the newest exciting Kaldheim spoiler is Ascendant Spirit. It's a 1/1 snow creature spirit for a blue, and it has an absurd amount of text for a 1/1 for 1, but let's dig into it. By paying 2 snow mana, Ascendant Spirit becomes a Spirit Warrior with base power and toughness 2/3. By paying 3 snow mana, if Ascendant Spirit is a warrior, put a flying counter on it and it becomes a Spirit Warrior Angel with base power and toughness 4/4. And by paying 4 snow mana, if Ascendant Spirit is an angel, put 2+1/+1 counters on it and it gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So essentially this is kind of like a level up creature. Basically, it starts off as a 1/1, then becomes a 2/3, then a 4/4 flying, and then a 6/6 with whenever it hits a player, you draw a card. So obviously, if you play this on turn 1, by the time turn 4 comes around, if you dumped a ton of snow mana into this, it can be that 6/6. So in total, that's 10 mana. Now, is a turn 4 6/6 flyer that gets you a card when it hits a player that you dump 10 mana into a good card in Commander? Probably not. So why am I talking about this card? Now, I don't want to spoil it quite just yet, but I promise there's a reason, so please bear with me. Now, before we go over that, I want to talk about some similar cards to this one, and I promise there's a reason for this too. You just gotta trust me. Now, Commander is a format where absolutely absurd things can happen that would be considered broken in any other format, but they're not here. Because in Commander, you can have a card like Serra Ascendant. This is one of the cards that Ascendant Spirit reminded me of, and yeah, the names are very similar. Now, Serra Ascendant is a 1/1 human monk with lifelink for a white. But it also says, as long as you have 30 or more life, Serra Ascendant gets +5/+5 and has flying. So in a game of Commander, you start off at 40 life, which is above 30. Which means that if you play this turn 1, you've got a 6/6 life-linking flyer on the field. On turn 1. And this card is not banned and shouldn't be. Now, if you hit your land drop each turn and dump all your snow mana into Ascendant Spirit, it's going to take 4 turns to get to the exact same amount of power as Serra Ascendant. But I'm here to tell you, it can get much bigger. Hold on to that thought for a second while we move on to Figure of Destiny. Figure of Destiny is the original Ascendant Spirit type of card. It's a 1/1 Kithkin for a Boros, so yes, very unassuming. By paying a Boros, it becomes a 2/2 Kithkin Spirit. By paying 3 Boros, if Figure of Destiny is a Spirit, it becomes a 4/4 Kithkin Warrior. And by paying 6 Boros, if Figure of Destiny is a Warrior, it becomes an 8/8 Kithkin Spirit Warrior Avatar with flying and first strike. So overall, you've got to dump 11 mana into this to get an 8/8 flyer with first strike. So although it's a really cool design, there is a reason that this is only in about 300 or so decks. And then in Fate Reforged, we got Warden of the First Tree, which clearly took inspiration from Figure of Destiny. A 1/1 human for a green that has pay 1 in Orzhov, Warden of the First Tree becomes a human warrior with base power and toughness 3/3. Pay 2 Orzhov. If Warden of the First Tree is a warrior, it becomes a human spirit warrior with trample and lifelink. And pay 3 Orzhov. If Warden of the First Tree is a spirit, put 5++1 counters on it. So for 13 mana in total, we get an 8/8 trampler with lifelink. Now, Warden of the First Tree sees play in even less decks than Figure of Destiny. But when it comes to this card, there is one main difference between this and Figure of Destiny, and it has to do with that third activation. You can activate that as many times as you want. And you might have noticed when I went through the card, or when I gave that hint, but Ascendant Spirit has that exact same thing. You can keep activating that last ability as many times as you want. And you might not realize this, but not only do you get 2 more counters, but you also get, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Again. So the more times that you activate that, the more cards that you draw when you hit a player. Now again, in a game of Commander, dumping all this mana into one creature probably is not the most efficient way to win. But Commander's a weird game. It's not always about efficiency. It's about having fun and doing some really crazy things. And do I have a crazy thing for you to do? So I am issuing a challenge to you. Yeah, that's right. You, sitting or standing or walking or whatever you're doing right now, I am challenging you. This is going to be the pinnacle achievement of any Commander player ever. Because it is absolutely absurd and is not going to be easy to pull off. So my challenge to you is this. You need to generate infinite snow mana to dump into Ascendant Spirit. Obviously, Magic rules, you need to pick a number, whatever, 1 billion. With Ascendant Spirit then having 2 billion plus 1/1 counters on it, and 1 billion whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw cards on it, then you're good to go. Now, I should have mentioned this before, but for this achievement to work, you need at least 2 opponents. Because you're going to have to swing and hit one of your opponents with this Ascendant Spirit. That's right, with your 2 billion and 4 power Ascendant Spirit, you need to smack them in the face. Now, you already have flying, so hopefully that's enough to get you through, but if not, find another way. Regardless, if you are to smack that player in the face, obviously that's going to be enough damage to take them out. But because with that hit, you're going to be drawing 1 billion cards, that's going to be enough to take you out as well. So you also need an I deck myself win condition, like for example, Laboratory Maniac or Jace Wielder Mysteries. You try to draw your billion cards, and when you can't draw anymore, you win. Yes, it's an incredibly convoluted way to win, and yes, you could win in a multitude of different ways that would be a lot easier, but this way's really funny. Now, obviously for this deck to work, you just need blue. So you can pick any commander that you want as long as blue is part of their color identity. But keep in mind, for all this to work, you need a way to generate infinite snow mana. And thankfully, many of you wonderful people in the Commander community have already helped me come up with a lot of ways to do that. So if you want to add another layer on to this Commander achievement, you need to use Narfi Betrayer King as your commander. So make sure you check out this episode and you'll find a lot of different ways to generate infinite snow mana that the Commander community came up with. Now there are of course other ways to do this with other commanders, and I'm not saying you have to use Narfi. You can even generate infinite snow mana with a mono blue commander. If you want a somewhat easier commander that can help you generate infinite snow mana though, I recommend Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. With Kinnan in play, Basalt Monolith can generate infinite colorless mana. And you can use Thermal Flux to make Basalt Monolith into a snow permanent until end of turn. And when a snow permanent is tapped for mana, it produces snow mana. So now you've got infinite snow mana with just 3 cards. And Kinnan can even help you get Ascendant Spirit out, so there's that. Anyways, best of luck accomplishing what has got to be one of the most absurd commander achievements ever created. And again, remember, bonus points if you use Narfi Betrayer King as your commander. Because who doesn't want to believe that all this zombie wizard king ever wanted was to make it snow? And with that, the show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thanks again and have a good one.